In Your Friends and Neighbors episode 8, Coop's father bailed him out. Meanwhile, his attorney, Kat, suggested that rather than attempting to establish his innocence, which would have landed him in prison for the rest of his life, he could accept a plea agreement and serve about 10 years. Although Coop was aware that he had not killed Paul, he was also aware that he would face theft charges if he acknowledged that he had been at the crime scene to take Samantha's belongings after his and Elena's business dealings with Christian had gone awry. He decided to ignore all of these concerns, at least for the time being, and enjoy a wild night out with Nick as well as Barney. Why did Coop and Nick become friends again? Mel had revealed that she had slept with Coop while arguing with Samantha about Coop's innocence. As a result, Nick made amends and restored his relationship with co-op. Barney, on the other hand, was tired of Grace and wanted to leave the house that had grown to be a burden. For this reason, he decided to put the argument behind him and rebuild his relationship with Coop. In addition to all of that, Hunter and Morgan formally became a couple. Tori ended her relationship with Jake, Ollie discovered Bruce was taking advantage of her, and Mel lost her job due to a physical incident with Samantha. How were all of these subplots resolved in the last scene of Your Neighbors and Friends? Let's look for. Coop's family approaches him. In the dream sequence that opens Your Friends and Neighbors episode 9, Coop returns to his childhood home and discovers that he is no longer separated from his family. However, as soon as he jumps into his pool and comes out, he is at the scene of the crime, Samantha's house, where he is being taken into custody by the police on suspicion of killing Paul. When he eventually wakes up and goes to play golf, he encounters people staring at him strangely due to the murder charge against him. The golf club's manager, Luddy, shows up as anticipated and informs him that his membership will be suspended until he is formally found not guilty. Since he is an accused murderer, Coop notes that the club will be breaking its own rules by suspending a member, which could encourage him to do something nefarious. Later that evening, Coop had a peaceful supper with Ollie, Hunter, and Tori to help him relax. However, she starts out by discussing her recent liaison with Bruce because Ollie wants Coop to discuss his future and whether or not he will go to jail. She creates such an awkward situation that discussing Coop's case seems preferable. Coop doesn't, however, talk about this problem. Ollie decides to go for her gig, and because Hunter and Tori want to go with her, Coop is forced to accompany them. Her performance starts off with a rather good song, but it soon turns into a tirade about how awful Bruce is and how everyone should be more like Coop, who, I won't pretend to be an expert on how bipolar disorder affects a person's capacity to identify warning signs. But should I really feel sorry for Ollie for falling in love with a cheater who was her ex-lover and then realizing that he is a nasty person? The patrons of the bar where Ollie was performing, after all, didn't see the big picture and cheered on Ollie's anti-Bruce rhetoric. But as someone because of the manner she chased and wooed him, it seems hollow to someone who has watched the entire arc. Ollie is not a saint, but there is no denying that Bruce and guys like him are the worst in the world. In any case, Coop asks Ollie to take her medication at the end of the night so that she would be able to take care of Hunter and Tori in the event that Coop is arrested. Coop then presents Hunter with his cherished Daytona watch. At last, he attempts to talk to Tori, who at first ignores him but then cuddles up to him while he watches movies and sobs uncontrollably, likely considering the potential that she won't get to do this for the next 6 to 10 years. The next day, Coop meets with Kat and instructs her to schedule the meeting to talk about the plea agreement rather than arguing for his innocence because he has apparently realized that it is nearly difficult to establish he was not involved in Paul's killing.